dwelling places of Edom. Because when you look at it like a biblical map, it has the kingdom of Edom, and it's just south of Judah. That's not the same place as Mount Seir, right?
No, Mount Seir is a region within Edom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like for example, you have Dan, which is another region of Edom as well. We pretty much think up to the sons of Esau.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They go on there.
Job chapter 30 verse.
You know where it talks about how Job likened Esau's the thoughts. Right.
Verse 1. But now they that are younger than I
That's the one. Yeah.
have me in derision,
Right.
whose fathers I would have disdained to have set
Rainbow.
with the dogs of my flock.
That's a sign of the covenant.
Right. That's the sign of the covenant.
Destroy the earth.
Yeah.
And it's strange because the rainbow usually comes when it's rain.
Yeah.
That covenant remains forever. So when you check and when you look at these Sodomites, what they'll do is they'll use the rainbow as a sign for their filthiness, which is a blasphemous thing to do, man. Okay, but this is why we talk about how the Lord is going to destroy this kingdom, right? Yeah, there you go right there. It's more coming out more so now, you know. So that's a covenant. That how the Lord said He would flood the earth with water, but the next kind of flood is going to be by fire.
That's right.
Go on, bro.
Yea, whereto
Yeah, brother. I'll tell you what. I'll come on that side. You come on that. I can't see that. Yeah, go on.
Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit, in whom old age was perished.
Right.
For want and famine they were solitary.
Right. For want and famine, they were solitary. Okay. In other words, they didn't have much food. Go on.
Fleeing into the wilderness in former time desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat.
Go on.
They were driven forth from among men.
Yeah.
They cried after them as after a thief.
So they were in an animalistic state. You see, Esau like to talk about how we look like apes and monkeys, but the scientists have found out that they got more ape DNA inside of them than we do. Check that out. Okay? And when you look at the ape himself, the ape got small, very small, thin lips. Okay? And got that leprosy look, man.
Yeah.
All right? So they look more apish than we do. Go on, bro.
To dwell in the cliffs of the earth, of the valleys, in caves of the earth.
Right, in caves of the earth. This is talking about the heritage of Esau, the Edomites. And we're seeing them. We see them all the time. We live amongst Esau and Edom. Okay, but the Most High shows you His power and His might, beginning with the watchers and those that are the living. Okay, that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Okay, go on.
And in the rocks, among the bushes they braid.
Right, among the bushes they braid.
Yeah.
You know? Go on, man.
Quest for
Under
Fire
the nettles.
movie. Quest for Fire, that movie, it's in the 60s, I think, or 70s. Quest for Fire, where they showed Esau in his original state.
Right.
Mumbo jumbo, like we just done.
And even Flintstone, the parts more than Flintstone.
Yeah, but that would be.
Yeah, go on.
Under the nettles they were gathered together.
Right.
They were children of fools.
Right, they were children of fools. Let me just read before. This brother read it right here. He children on how folly is set in great dignity. Because they're the foolish. It tells you that they were fools. But they're still foolish to this very day. Because what's foolish is mixing all nations together. That's a foolish thing to do. Alright? Anything that goes outside the wisdom and understanding of the Lord is foolishness. Okay? That's why I told you also what did Paul say, brother. If you can get me what Paul said, I think it's in give me 1 Corinthians. Hold what you got, give me 1 Corinthians, I believe it's chapter 4. Verse 15 or something like that, where it talks about how the wisdom of this world is foolishness from God.
1 Corinthians 1 verse 25.
Oh.
Because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men,
Okay.
and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men.
Right.
Verse 27. But the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
You keep going.
And base things of the world and things which are despised have the Most High chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are.
Yeah, keep going, keep going. There's a particular verse where it says the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. It's probably right. If you keep, I think if you read on, it should be in there. It's 1 Corinthians 3. My bad. It's 1 Corinthians 3, verse 19.
Say that again?
1 Corinthians 3, verse 19. Because that's just the whole thing. When you really look at the philosophy of this society, it's all foolishness. And the main philosophy of this society, you got to believe in, we all came from apes. And through a process of time, we grew and we became now. That's foolishness. Because what did Paul say in 1 Corinthians 15? He said, all flesh is not the same flesh. Go on, bro. And even the amalgamation of all of these nations. Go on.
1 Corinthians 3 verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High.
Right.
For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
And that's what the Lord is going to wind up doing. He's going to take the wise out of their own craftiness. He's going to set up these people, give them their wisdom, their portion, and use that to pretty much destroy themselves. Because Esau is crafty by nature. Okay? But that craftiness is going to ricochet against him. So yeah, go back to Job 30, bro.
The precept, bro.
Alright, yeah, read that.
This is 1 Corinthians 4 and 10. We are fools for Yahweh Shai's sake.
Right.
Ye are wise in Yahweh Shai.
Right, we are fools for Yahweh Shai's sake, because we're fools, but we're fools in the righteous way. Okay? But guess what? We're wise unto our salvation. Okay? And really, in all reality, we may look foolish to the world, but truth be told, we're not foolish people, because we have the absolute wisdom and understanding that created this entire earth. So we're wiser than everybody out here. So go on, brother.
1 Corinthians 1 verse 19, which is written, let me start from verse 18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness.
Right.
But unto us which are saved, it is the power of the Most High.
Right, it is the power of the Most High. So the preaching of the cross to them that are lost. In other words, these people out here, because they're under the influence of folly, which folly is what? Set in great dignity. That's basic. Okay? Yeah, they're Masons because they wear those hats. You know, and that's why he looked and he kind of like had that look on his face. But he's probably low level. Because some high level Masons, they don't be walking around the street like that.
He's not playing games.
Or he may just be bullshit. You know, but he could very well be a low level though. You're going very low level, first degree or something.
For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and I will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent.
Right, and I will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent and destroy.
Make sure they hold hands.
Esau is considered wise, which he is, because it tells us that in Daniel that he is wiser than Daniel. So the Lord is going to use his wisdom to destroy themselves, man.
Purpose.
Eventually, anyway, because their mindset and the way that they're structured, they're structured to pretty much destroy. That's what that's their main thing to do. So if that's what their mindset is set on doing, then eventually they'll destroy themselves. You see that? And that's how the Lord is destroying them. Go on, brother. And that's why you have this division amongst these Edomitic setups around Europe. I'm talking about the EU. All right? And even also Germany, they don't really want to take heed to the demands of America. Because Germany pretty much invested billions of dollars into the the pipe stream coming from Russia. And told them, look, don't invest in that. So pretty much it's going to get to the point where all these European nations or countries, they're going to do their own thing. And that's when that divided is going to come. destroying Esau. Slow, little and little. Go on, brother. All right, yeah, so,
Back in Job 13, verse 8. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men.
right, they were children of fools and children of base men. And that's all I really wanted you to read, brother. Matter of fact, we got some more. We can read some more now.
They were viler than the earth.
They were violent in the earth. So keep that in mind, they were base men. Go back to Daniel 4, what you just read before. Because the Lord can set any nation up. No matter what, where they're coming from. Alright? The moment if it's their time to come up, they're going to come up and they're going to rule. Alright? Go on, brother. Daniel 4, verse, where did you leave left off at?
Daniel 4, right, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the decree and the demand by the word of the holy ones.
Yeah.
To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
That the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Go on.
And giveth it to whomsoever he will.
Okay.
And setteth up over it the basis of men.
And who's the basis of men as we just read? Exactly. So that's who's running the show right now. And the proof of that is in the pudding. Just look at how the society is set up and how and what kind of mindset or philosophy that these people have taken hold of. Now, 60 years ago, the idea of transforming yourself, you being a man, transforming yourself to that of a woman, you was considered pretty much a bugged out individual, man. But now it's cool. Now it's acceptable. Even in 1970, they said it was a mental. They considered it as a mental problem. Okay, but now it's all cool and everything. Okay, you gotta accept all kind of sexuality. In other words, pansexuality. All right. So that's how you know that we're living in the last days, and we're also living in a base system set up by base people. Okay, that's running amok on the earth. Children, in other words, in the mind that's running the earth right now. Okay, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse until this man be taken out the way. Matter of fact, brother, you can do that too. And what is it? I think it's in 1 Thessalonians 4, believers. Because guess what? In the scriptures it says the man of sin may be revealed in his time, and we're in the time of him revealing himself based on his words.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2.
Oh, it's chapter 2. Right?
Verse 6. And now ye know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time.
Yep.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
It says read that again.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
So it's a mystery of iniquity is already at the work. Because back then Paul and them didn't know who the wicked was. But Paul knew it was all in the work. But now we know we in the time in the day that we know who the wicked is. Okay? And the works are showing forth. So now once the works are showing forth, now he's going to be taken out of the way. Because matter of fact, brother, hold down. I don't need to keep jumping about. Give me Malachi 1 and 4. Because who is the wicked of the earth? Now you have all of the nations, and even including our people, the holies of the holies, supposed to be the majority of them. They're wicked in some cases. But guess what? The wicked, or the epitome of the evil one of the wicked, is Esau and Edom, which Esau and Edom is the so-called Europeans. Okay? And they backed it up by history. Go on, brother.
Malachi 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
Right, they said we will return and build back the desolate places, because when you look at these empires of Edom, beginning with the Greeks fell apart and then the Roman Empire came. After the Roman Empire came, this nasty setup came about. This society that we're under right now, which is the revival version of it. Go on.
It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
All right.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness. So what is a border? A border is a landmass, okay, or a particular landmass of a nation, which is known as a border. So this is a border of people of wickedness. The Lord likens them as the wicked. Okay? Because the Lord created all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil, right? So in order for Esau to fall down out of his majesty and his might, they have to be revealed. Go back to 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 now. They have to be revealed. That's the first thing. And most likely, and the men that are going to reveal Esau are us, the men of the Lord. Go on, bro.
Back in 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
Okay.
Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way.
Right, let who he may let until he be taken out of the way. So the Lord is going to let him be free and do what he got to do and then fulfill his evil and wickedness and gets to the point where we expose him, right? And even his own kind, his own cracker kind, I'm going to say that, right, exposes him. Now he's going to be taken out of the way. And that's what time we're in right now. We're in a time of the expose of the wicked, or Esau and Edom, that dwelleth in Mount Seir. They call themselves the French, they call themselves the Germans, they call themselves the Americans. Okay, they call themselves the Swedes or the Swiss. Okay, or whatever they call themselves, but their biblical main nationality is the Edomites, Esau and Edom. Okay, go on, brother.
And then shall the wicked be revealed, when the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
What is that talking about by the spirit of his mouth? Does that mean that the wicked is going to be destroyed physically? No, he's going to be physically revealed in the time concerning the word. So when we bring out the word and show you who the devil is, okay, that's him being consumed by the spirit of his mouth. Whose mouth? Yahweh Shai, which he used the word. Give me John 1:1. What does John 1:1 say? John 1:1 says that the word was in flesh. Okay? In other words, he was the word of, he was the epitome of the word. Yahweh Shai was the epitome of the word. So we're using his word and we're consuming the wicked with the spirit of his mouth.
John chapter 1 verse 14.
Yeah, come on.
And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory.
Right, so what does it mean that the word was made flesh? See, the simpleton couldn't understand this. That's the meat right there. You got to have some spiritual understanding to decipher what is being said here. What does it mean that the word was made flesh? Meaning there was a man by the name of the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, that was spoken on the earth. Okay, that came in the flesh just like everybody else. Go on.
And we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the point on that, in his glory. So we know that the word is referring to a man, which is another name of Yahweh Shai. He's also known as the Comforter, and he's also known as the Word. But going back to what we're reading in 2 Thessalonians, the 7th verse, how it talks about how the wicked shall be consumed by the spirit of his mouth, because we're using this Bible to reveal his eyes. That's how he's being revealed. Okay, go on, brother. Yes, so go back to what you had in 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 7.
2 Thessalonians 2 verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, when the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, that shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
And then shall he destroy with the brightness of his coming. Because when the Messiah returns, you can even get that in Isaiah 65 or 64, where it talks about how he came amongst Edom with dyed garments, and he became the winepress. That's him destroying them physically. But before that scenario takes place, this scenario is going to take place where the men of the Lord are going to stand with great boldness, all right, against such as was afflicted them, and expose their asses. Okay, and you're going to have not just us in England, but brothers all around the world that's going to expose this man for the devil that he is. Okay, and this is why these wacky tacky Christians out there and vocab baloney, these crazy nutcases, they can't stand us, man. They can't sleep at night because they know that this word is having an effect against them. Okay, or they really want to turn a blind eye, but they can't because this word is afflicted them. You can even give me that in Ephesians, brother. Ephesians, the 4th chapter. You know what I want, where it talks about how the word of the Lord is as a double-edged sword, piercing even to the asunder. So this word cuts to the heart.
It's just done something. That's all.
What is that? Oh, Hebrews 4:12. Yeah, you can't. You get Hebrews 4:12. Yeah. So, because we bring out, and that's how you know that we're bringing out this word the right way, because reading the word is supposed to cut you if it ain't right. But these Christians, they're not cutting nobody. They're allowing everybody to come inside their church.
It doesn't matter to them.
It doesn't matter, like you went into earlier. You know, if you ask a pastor, look, or a Christian going member, what does the Lord looks like? He's going to say to you, oh, it don't matter. They're smooth things, man. And they prophesy smooth things, which prophesy deceit. So if you're a real man of the Lord, the real men of God prophesied against wickedness. Okay, and they prophesied against great kingdoms. And this is why the prophets were smacked upside the head in some cases. They were overthrown and they were killed.
And they said things that discomforted people. They spoke about topics that people didn't feel comfortable speaking about.
Right.
You know, they spoke about things that cut people and made people feel away.
Right.
You know, it disturbed people's feelings and emotions, man.
Right.
To the point where, like Stephen, man. Stephen started speaking about the history up until Yahweh Shai and what they did to Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
It got on the scribes and their conscience. He started speaking the truth to the point where they had to do something to him.
Right.
They had to shut him up.
Yeah.
Because he was making them look like slimy, grimy niggas, man. Right?
And that's exactly what the deal was. And this is why John the Revelator, he was sent on to the island of Patmos. It was so, these guys were causing so much hell that they were sent out of the country, out of bounds, yeah. So that's showing you that the real men of God, they were no nice boys, saying things that people want to hear. They were saying things that people didn't want to hear. Okay? And that's the right thing to do. Go on, bro.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
Amos chapter 7 verse 10.
Yeah.
Then Amaziah, the priest of Bethel, said to Jeroboam, king of Israel, saying, Amos, or the prophet Amos, have conspired against thee in the midst of the house of Israel.
Okay.
The land is not able to bear all his words.
Right, the land, in other words, because he was irritating them, he was getting on their nerves. So in other words, they conspired to overthrow him. Showing you, again, that if you're a real prophet of the Lord, you're going to say things that are hurting to people. Go on, bro.
So lucky, I just wanted to bring out, that's a good point you made, because when King David had an affair with Bathsheba, Nathan the prophet went and convicted him to his face.
Exactly.
And that's how you know that David was a righteous king, because he could have put Nathan to death.
Right.
But he was like, no, I've done wrong. I need to repent to the Lord.
And he took heed to it.
I respect that.
Yeah.
He took heed, but he feared the Lord. That's why he didn't do that to Nathan, because he knew that Nathan was sent from the Lord. So you can't, you know what I mean? If you fear the Lord as King David, he couldn't do that. You got to take heed, you know. But if he was a regular 2/3, he would have smacked him up. Which that ain't right. And this is why the 2/3, even on this side, they have to face their judgment because of what they did back then.
King David was a prophet himself.
And he was a prophet himself. You see that? Yeah, so read what you got, brother.
Verse 11, for thus Amos saith, Jeroboam shall die by the sword, and Israel shall surely be led away captive out of their own land.
Yeah, and Israel didn't want to hear that nonsense, man. Israel didn't want to hear that they were going to be enslaved by another nation. What's this Negro talking about, man? Get out of here, man. You know what I mean? So what they decided to do is that they was looking to conspire against the man. Okay? But these pastors out there, and I'm going to say this as well, a lot of these pastors, these wacky-tacky Christians, okay, what is it? Baloney, what is his name, man? Right, vocab baloney. and his side piece with him. They're talking nonsense, and all of these different pastors included. They're not prophets of the Lord. They're what you call deceivers in the last days that shall come in the midst and shall deceive many. That's who they are. Okay, I'm talking about the pastors in the Church of England and all of these little minion churches out there. They're all false preachers, man. They're all false prophets, which are laid in silly women in the houses. Okay, and that's exactly what they are. They don't know the word of the Lord. They ain't got time for it. They use the word of the Lord for their own personal gain. And that's really what they do. Okay? And this is why these people, they're all bugged out, all messed up in the spirit. You got these women in the churches committing adultery and sleeping with the pastor. But yet that's the Lord's house though, right? Please, give me a break. Go on, brother.
Reading on, also Amaziah said unto Amos, O thou seer, go, flee thee away into the land of Judah.
Right, flee ye away into the land of Judah. So the Lord was commanding Amos to go into the land, in other words, go to Jerusalem.
Amaziah,
Amaziah.
he was the priest, and he said to Amos, go away.
Right, okay.
Flee thee away into the land of Judah,
Right.
and there eat bread and prophesy there.
Right, and prophesied there. In other words, what he was saying, because he was the priest of Israel at the time. So he wanted to get Amos, if I'm correct, brother, out of the way. Okay, because he was upset and everything in terms of him and the nation of Israel, so to speak. So this is why, like, let's see, for example, we all went into the church and we was bringing forth our understanding, our truth to the church. They would tell us, man, you Negroes need to get the hell out the church, man. Get out the damn church. Because we're upsetting his paycheck. The pastor, the only thing that the pastor cares about is getting the paycheck at the end of the day. So if we come in there and we spoil the whole show, he's gonna lose his money. Okay? But guess what? That pastor, he's gonna be destroyed for using the word of the Lord the wrong way. Go on, brother.
They say, but prophesy no against any more at Bethel,
Right.
for it is the king's chapel, and it is the king's court.
Right.
Then
You're going, bro.
Then answered Amos and said to Amaziah, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was an herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. And Yahweh took me as I followed the flock, and Yahweh said unto me, go, prophesy unto my people Israel.
Right.
Now therefore,
Read that again, read that one more time.
and the Lord took me as I followed the flock,
Okay.
and the Lord said unto me, go, prophesy unto my people
Right, so
Israel.
he was telling Amaziah that the Lord commanded him to prophesy against Israel. And that's the same message we got, beginning with the apostles of Great Millstone. We were given that same message because, see, the Lord, or should I say, when the Lord tells you to do something, he tells you through other men. Okay? And we were taught by the apostles of Great Millstone, and they told us to go out there and to teach the word. Because there was a time, man, I was watching the apostles and I kind of felt afraid. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to have to go and do my part. You know? Because my intention really, I'm going to be honest, my intention was really not to be a teacher. My intention was just to learn and hear the scriptures. But meanwhile, while I was doing that, automatically, that led me to becoming who I am today. Okay, but it was all based on the fear, though. This is why I hit the street. Okay? Go on, bro. Because, see, the thing with Amos feared the Lord, and he went out there and preached against Israel, although Israel was conspiring against him or to kill him. But he still went out there. Okay, so that shows you that he had more fear towards the Most High than he did mankind. And that's the same spirit we gotta have. Go on, bro.
Now therefore hear thou the word of the Lord. Thou sayest, prophesy not against Israel,
Right.
and drop not thy word
Right.
against the house of Isaac.
Right, because Amaziah was telling them, look, don't teach down here. Don't do the work anymore. So let's say if Esau say, look, don't teach the word anymore, right? We still gotta come out. If it's time, if we're still in at the right time and the opportune time to teach, like for example, because brothers have got arrested. So that was Esau's way of saying, look, you better not come out here. That was like a secret message in some cases. Not to come out no more. We still went out here and did the work anyway. Because we don't fear man, we fear the Most High.
Yeah.
It says, fear the Most High that can take the spirit and kill the soul. But the only thing that man can do is pretty much kill you, but he has no power with the soul like the Most High does.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay? So we don't give a damn about what man got to say.
That's right.
Go on, brother.
That's the point.
All right. Yeah, so go back to
Hebrews 4
Hebrews 4, yeah.
and 12.
Yeah.
For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword.
Exactly. So when you're preaching the gospel, it's supposed to offend some certain people. When you preach the gospel in truth, certain people are supposed to get offended, and those certain people that's supposed to get offended are evil, wicked souls. Not allowing everybody to come in the church, come as you will, come as you may. No. This ain't the thing for that, man. The Most High is gathering the righteous and condemning the wicked with his word. Going back to Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, consuming the wicked with the spirit of his mouth. So that means that we're supposed to come out here and condemn Esau and condemn the 2/3 of our people, and also to condemn all of the heathen and tell them where they're going off at and where they're going in the future. Not to be buddy and side partners with these people. Because we don't come out here to make friends with random people. We come out here to preach the word of the Lord, and that's that. We go back to where we came from. Because we have a purpose in this life, and our purpose in this life is to do this right here. Okay? And this is the Lord's purpose which he has chosen for us to fulfill. Go on, brother.
Right. Piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
Exactly. So that's what the word of the Lord is going to do to you. If you're not right, it's going to pierce you, and it's going to make you bug the hell out. To where you want to resort to the violence all of a sudden against us, or make threats against us. Okay, or talk about, oh yeah, I'm going to send the Bloods and the Crips. I'm going to send the Crips against you, like what plight. Brother don't like that, I call it. So he was threatened. Go on, bro.
Concerning offense, this is Galatians 4:16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
Exactly. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Because and this is the thing, in this society, truth is pretty much looked down upon. Okay? It offends people. So, but like I said, I mean, and even in Esau's, law and everything, it talks about how we, it does say that we have the freedom of expression. We can't offend certain people, but guess what? Listen, man, this word is going to go out anyway, and it's going to offend certain people anyway. As long as we ain't physically harming nobody, then we all right. We good. And if they want to listen, they can listen. If they don't want to listen, they can get to walking down the street.
That's right.
All right, this is a free, so-called democratized society. So if they don't like what we're saying, they have that privilege to go right down the street. All right, we're going to speak the word of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai with no filter. Okay, this is what we do at best. Go on, brother.
Amos 5:10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate.
And that's the true man of the Most High. Yeah. Let me finish that off. Stop.
They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
Right, and that's okay. And that's another thing too. Because see, that's what you want to be. You want to be that guy where you hate him who's speaking the word of the Lord. Because what does it also say in the scriptures? It says, woe unto you that
men speak well of you.
That men speak well of you. So if men are speaking well of you, just because you're supposed to get both reports. You're supposed to get a good report and a bad report. But if men are just saying that you good and you are right, then you're doing something wrong. Go on, man.
Psalm 73 verse 15. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children.
Right, beautiful, beautiful. So when you speak the word of the Most High, when you say a word, which the things that you say is going to be of the oracles of the Lord. So when you speak of the oracles of the Lord and it offends people, guess what? People are going to get offended. People are going to want to resort to the violence or call 999 or call 911 if you're in the States. And all of that kind of good stuff, okay, according to them, but it's really bad because what they're doing is they're marking themselves for death and destruction.